edition of Trout Talk right here at Saga 960 AM. Welcome. My name is Mike Karafalidis, joined by my compadres. I got Brendan Lang over here. I got Zach Bodenstein. Guys, how are we doing? And Christmas is coming up soon. Steelheads hockey, can you believe, is actually almost halfway through the season right now, coming up soon. Well, not really. Still got another month till the halfway through. But how's everybody doing?
Yeah, doing pretty well. I can't believe it, first of all. Like, that's gone by way too fast. I feel like we were just getting the season started. Like there was all the stuff, how are they going to be? They're really young this year. We don't know what to expect coming into the season, and obviously have done way better than I think anybody expected, sitting right now at the top of the Eastern Conference, sitting up there. But, I mean, yeah, it's flown by. And to think that it's going to be Christmas soon, too, that's also a scary thing. Like, I mean, feel like it was just Christmas. I don't know. This year has gone by pretty quickly.
Like Christmas.
Yeah, it is. It's there was some snow out there. Had to clean my car off this morning, so it is looking a little bit more like Christmas. But other than that, everything's going pretty well. It's kind of every time we come on here, same thing going on. For Zach, it's different. We can talk about that in a second. But for me, it's everything's pretty similar.
Yeah, no, it's been a good week, been a good month. Lots happening. We'll talk about it in life tips. Attitude, mindset change to kind of, take control of your life, for lack of a better term. So guys, things have been good. Crazy that we're already, in early to mid-December. Crazy that we're already, going into World Junior camps, and crazy that we're talking about, approaching the halfway point of the season, because it does really feel like New Year's. I remember my New Year's, guys, so vividly going into 2023. And it's about 11 and a half months later now, and it hasn't felt like it, Mikey. So it's been a bit of a trip, a little bit different, but everything's good.
Yeah, good, guys. That's good. It's same here. I just can't believe that Christmas is coming like so fast. Felt like Christmas like yesterday. You know what I mean? And I did I'm pretty much done all my Christmas shopping, which is a good thing. Thank goodness. I did everything online, most of it. When I bought another couple things. So done. I'm not a last minute shopper ever again. I vowed never to be one, and still not. So yeah, it's everything's good. Christmas time, almost halfway through the season, guys, and Steelheads are sitting in second place in the Eastern Conference right now, behind the Ottawa 67s. Big weekend for the Trout. Huge win on Friday night in London. Right, 5-1 win, and then coming out and beating the Sudbury Wolves at home by the score of 5-4, guys. I mean, in overtime too, or excuse me, shootout. And wow, where do we start? Luke Misa was hot. I mean, 4 goals and the shootout winner on the weekend. Xander Vecchia, a goal and assist in his hometown, which is nice. Well, close to hometown, Ridgetown, Ontario, and London on Friday. The team's really clicking.
Yeah, they really are. And I mean, London maybe has struggled a little bit here recently, but they are a good team, and we're a good team coming into the season. To go out there, especially in that building too. I mean, a tough place to play. Crowd's always packed in there. To get off the bus and play that way, and like you said, Luke Misa, I mean, just absolutely on fire. And Zach, I think you tweeted it out that like his draft stock is just must be going through the roof at this point. Like, you're going into the year thinking, is he like a 3rd round, 4th round guy? Like, I mean, we're talking about maybe a 1st round pick at this point. Like, you absolutely have to be. And just the numbers that he's been able to put up, like, I mean, what is your 37 points in 25 games so far this year, on top of that huge weekend with, what was it, a hat trick, and then also scoring against Sudbury too, like, just absolutely on fire. And when you have somebody playing that way, and you get the goaltending that you had in London, everything like you just said, Mikey, I mean, it just seems like it's really clicking on all cylinders. And that's after too, where you thought they kind of faltered a little bit there a couple games ago, and then they've got it right back on track, and they've looked really, really strong.
I'm wondering, guys, because Mississauga has an outgoing mayor. Does Luke Misa get the keys to the city? Like, is he going to take over?
Wow. Did we expect this from last year, guys? Did we really expect it or no?
So, I mean, last year they had him then penciled in as the 3rd-line center. And to me, he was my X factor coming into last year as the 3rd-line center. You expected growth from him. But what he's done has just been incredible. And with a young team, Brendan, to your point, I think there are going to be ups and downs inevitably. When you build a team this young, I mean, JR's told us firsthand, he's the one who constructed it, and he knows that there are going to be growing pains, up and down, up and down. But this team has more or less played pretty consistently down the stretch. Mikey talked about it, second in the Eastern Conference. I haven't looked at points percentage, but they could even be first.
Yeah, but still a game in hand. Still got a game in hand on the 67s right now, right?
Exactly. So you can
hand on them. Yeah,
you can even knock it up as first place. You could consider it first place when you factor in the points percentage and all that. But what a season they've had. The goaltending was great in London, but that first line's really driving things. And guys, what I really like is when somebody has an off night. If the Martone-McDonnell duo has an off night, it seems like the Vecchia-Misa duo starts to step up. Now, are we going to get that from the third line, from like a Karmiris-Van Volsen duo? That would really make this team a lot more dangerous from an offensive standpoint. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing right now. Defense has been rock solid. The goaltending, we've talked about it all year. We also have a defenseman coming up on this show, so I'd love to talk to him about the way that they're playing as a unit. Because guys, they're making it pretty easy on their goaltenders. We'll say that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's look at the points so far this season, and you talk about the lines and whatnot. But Luke Misa, 37 points so far this season, guys. 37 points. Porter Martone with 30. Angus McDonnell 22. Xander Vecchia really starting to pick it up, lately, which is a good thing. And we've been waiting for him to do that. And he's been absolutely playing phenomenal right now. And how about Chad Sharp, guys? I mean, he's fifth in scoring on the team right now with 20 points. He's just a leader back there in defense. And we're going to talk to the other guy in a second. But, yeah, I mean, and you look at the lines. I mean, he's put Porter Martone and Angus McDonnell together, James Richmond. He's left them together, right? He's left them together, and whoever he puts with them, it seems like has really done well. And whoever he puts with Luke Misa really does well. Like, Vetch is really stepping up his game. Now we're waiting for the guys. I mean, we're going to say it over and over again. We're waiting for guys like, Lucas Karmiris, to get that monkey off his back, right? And we're waiting for him. We're waiting for Jack Van Volsen, who just came back to the lineup, right? I mean, if those guys, I know I sound like a broken record, but if those guys get going, look out.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of goes back to the depth that we've talked about a lot. And Zach, you were just saying, when it seems like one line isn't going, then you have Misa and Vecchia going. If you don't have Martone and McDonnell, then they're going. And then you add in a Van Volsen and a Karmiris and Zidlicki on that third line. Like, if that gets going too, then you're looking at a team that's really, really scary and really looking to make some noise. Obviously, they're already looking scary, but just adding that in there too, I mean, it would be obviously a huge boost for the team offensively. And those guys that you mentioned too, Van Volsen, Zidlicki, and Karmiris, I mean, they're also extremely effective in the defensive zone as well. Like, I mean, I feel like you talk about getting them going. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're kind of struggling on offense, but still they're providing a lot when they're on the ice out there on the defensive side of the puck. And just one more thing too, because you mentioned Xander Vecchia. He was kind of, snake bitten during the year, couldn't really get something to go. He was driving the net really hard like he always does. But then recently, like you said, I mean, he's really turned it on. Still, I think there's 5 goals on the season for him. You still expect that to grow as we move along here in the year, but he's making everybody around him better. And when you're playing with somebody like Luke Misa, obviously that's gonna help you out a little bit.
Well, I asked James Richmond, what's gotten into Vetch? Is this a product of Luke Misa centering him, or has he improved his game a little bit? Because he's always been an active shooter, right, Mike? You know what I'm going to say because you were in that meeting. I said he's always been an active shooter, but lately it seems like, it's starting to cash for him. And James Richmond said, it's not about the quality it's not about the quantity of shots for him, it's the quality. So he's taking better shots. He's not just whipping pucks on net for the sake of it, but he's really, taking that extra time and space and getting that opportunity. And how about that goal to make it 4-3, Mikey, against Sudbury? It was Vetch creating time and space for himself. He gets a good look at the net, rips it past Vondras, and the Steelheads have the lead. So it's maturity in season for Vecchia, and love it for him. Love it for him.
Similar goal, just like the same kind of goal he had on Friday night against London. Same spot, left circle. I mean, he just absolutely wired it. If you're going to give Xander Vecchia that much time, he's going to and the way he said, just like he said, how he created space for himself. He just created that space, had that space, boom, and it was an accurate shot. Got by Vondras, got by Michael Simpson on Friday as well for those 2 goals that he had on the weekend. But man, he's been really turning it on, and impressive both ways too. He's been playing a good 2-way game, not just hanging around whatever. And if you're on James Richmond's team, you better play 2 ways, and he's been playing absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, he really has. Also too, you mentioned Chaz Sharp back there as well, and yes, he's a leader in the room, of course, and also a leader on the ice. But then you throw in he's 5th on the team in points right now, and what he does on the defensive side of the puck. I mean, everything in there. And also, it has to be mentioned that the whole defense core is playing well. Of course, we're going to talk to defensemen here in a moment, but I think a lot of that credit has to go to Sharp as well, with getting everybody kind of pulling in the same way.
You know what I love about Chaz Sharp, and this is something that the highlight packs won't pick up, maybe scouts will, but I always see it in the broadcast booth. He's always directing traffic out there. So if somebody's not in the spot that they want to be, or he's trying to anticipate somebody being in a spot because he wants to make a play, you see what I'm saying? He's telling people where to go and where to be. I notice that all the time. He's so vocal out there. He's pointing. He's not the loudest guy. He's not as loud as, a Mark Boudreau, but the way he just directs traffic and tells people where to go and keeps them accountable, makes sure they're in their spots, unbelievable. I love it. I love it. I love seeing him, lead by example. It's awesome.
All right, so let's talk quickly here about the, the special teams, staying out of the penalty box, boys. And, there was one point, it was 5 straight penalties against the Sudbury Wolves there on Sunday. But on the flip side, I think the penalty trouble has been getting better though than it had. Staying out of the box.
I completely agree. It has. And also too, you talk about them being a young team. And again, I feel like James Richmond has said that so many times when we talk to him, like, oh, they're young, they're going to take penalties. But as we get into the season now, we talked about it almost halfway through the year, getting close to that point, at least. Now, maybe these guys starting to figure it out a little bit more, a few more games under their belt. And I think the penalty kill has been good, but also 100% they've been staying out of the box. And it's such a big thing too, to be able to play with some discipline. Now they're a physical team. They're always going to be a physical team. So you're going to take penalties. I don't think you want to reel them in that much where they're not going to be taking penalties, but staying out of the box at a better rate for sure. I think there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, some of them have been necessary penalties, so I don't mind the ones they take that they have to. It's, the offensive zone penalties. It's the ones after the whistles that I'm obviously, they'd like to clean up a little bit. You don't want to put so much pressure on your young goalie having to kill 5, 6, 7 penalties a game. But that trend is starting to improve. And like Brendan said, as the season goes on, this team's maturing a little bit in more ways than one. And one of them is, ending that march to the penalty box, because we could see you could lose games that way very easily. They could get away from you in the first period. You take 3, 4 penalties in the first period. They cash in on 2 of them, and you're chasing uphill the rest of the game. So I'd like to see them make it a little bit less of a habit, but you're right, it is getting better.
All right, boys, let's take a break here. Let's gather our thoughts. All right, so when we come back, we'll have our special guest. You're listening to Trout Talk right here, News Talk, Saga 960 AM. All right, welcome back to Trout Talk right here, News Talk, Saga 960 AM. Mike Karafalidis, along with Brendan Lang and Zach Bodestein. And we have a special guest. Of course, we have a special guest every week, but defenseman of the Mississauga Steelheads is joining us right now, and that is Stevie Leskovar, the native of Cambridge, Ontario. Stevie, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you're looking good over there. You got your hat backwards. You're all chilled. What do you
Yeah, hat's always backwards.
All right. So, Stevie, first of all, let's talk about, how you feeling right now.
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. Good to be on here.
That's it, eh? I'm feeling pretty good. Good to be on here. You got your Christmas shopping done?
Yeah, I did a little bit today. So I still got quite a few gifts to pick out, but another day.
Awesome.
Well, you're well ahead of me. I haven't started yet. So I know, Mikey, at the beginning you were saying you're never going to be a last minute shopper. I haven't learned that one yet. I haven't learned it yet. So I'm still out there. But yeah, Stevie, I just want to start things off kind of talking about just your play so far this year. And we've talked about it on the broadcast a lot, but kind of what was the point of emphasis in the off season, and what were you working on coming into the year?
No, I think I had a big off season. A lot of time in the gym, a lot of time on the ice. That's pretty much all I did off season. Just ice, train, just stick to the grind.
Stevie, would you agree that you're a lot lighter on your feet this year? You're a lot quicker.
Yeah, I did a lot of sprinting this summer, so yeah, I'm a little bit lighter on my feet for sure this year.
Yeah, we heard that you were training with a track and field specialist. To talk to us about who you were training with and what were some of the exercises that helped you get quicker on your feet.
Yeah,
and was it Donovan Mitchell?
No, his name's Matt Beachy, and he's from Cambridge, and I got together with him in a little group this summer, and we went hard at it at the track, and I found it honestly it helped me on and off the ice tremendously.
You know, just to see how big you are back there on defense, like sticking up to your teammates and everybody just sticking up for each other. It's just unbelievable to see how tight you guys are back there on defense. Even though just the whole team, but defensively, you guys seem to be getting better every game back there. What's been the emphasis that they've been teaching you in the back, Matt Sharantano? What has he been
No,
teaching you guys mostly?
yeah, exactly. Our staff's just amazing. I think it just comes down to do the little things right. Just simple game. I think I play a simple style of game. Just play good defense. That's my role. So I like to just play simple and be physical once in a while, and get into a little bit of stuff.
Yes, you do.
And just before you came on, we were talking about your captain and Chaz Sharp. So what has he meant kind of, obviously for the whole team being a leader, but especially for you guys back there?
Oh, exactly. He plays a big role back there. He's a great friend, captain, player. He's always got the boys in line. It's really good to have a guy back there like that.
Sorry. Go. Oh, sorry.
Mikey,
Zach.
Mikey stepping on my toes.
Yeah, I know. Got over there, buddy.
Stevie, I'm going to ask you a cliche question, but I'm trying to avoid a cliche answer here. So your goal last year, I mean, I called the goal. I mean, I still listen back to it because I was so happy for you, and I'm sure you were pumped. Your parents are at every single game, it seems like. Talk to me about not your reaction, but their reaction to your goal.
No, yeah, they were pretty happy for me to get the first one. Obviously, I know it was kind of a weird game. We were kind of down and not too much was going on in the game, and then yeah, I finally got that. And they were real happy for me. It was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, I got to say, your dad is just like your parents are really nice people, and you know, I've talked to your dad many of times, and I mean, he's just supports you 100%. Big Steve, right? I mean,
Oh yeah, Big Steve.
mechanic,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you help him out in the shop. You were telling me and stuff. That's
yeah.
unbelievable what you do, and
Off
you're being a
days I
good son.
go in to help them.
So a lot of the guys in the team would call you the big brother. Why do they call you that?
Uh, you know what? I like sticking up for my teammates. I know they do the same for me, so I like to kind of be the older guy out there, and if someone's picking on one of our little guys or younger guys or anybody really, I like to let them know that it's not going to be happening on our team.
Yeah, you definitely are the big brother, as they say. So 100%.
Now, were you always like that, or is that something that you kind of had to develop once you've gotten to this level?
Honestly, I've always been like that. Even since I was little, I didn't take kindly to people picking on my teammates. So I've always kind of had that in me.
Love it. Love it.
That's great. Stevie, when's the last time you got a nice little flow chop? How long you been growing that out for?
Honestly, yeah. Like my D coach, Matty, I know Von Richter had some long hair too, but he got one yesterday. So I was planning on going to get one today, but ran out of time. But I'm gonna have to get one real soon. It's getting long.
I can't picture you with short hair, man.
Even my parents are like, you need to get a trim.
The new Stevie Leskovar. Yeah, I love that. But Stevie, who do you model your game after, my man?
I've been seeing Trouba with a bunch of big hits, and I've been watching a lot of him. So I'm gonna say him at the moment.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
I love that. I mean, he's a big hitter, but he's a clean player too. I mean, I think that's I think it's pretty similar. Yeah. So tell me kind of how practice has been this week. Obviously, 2 huge wins with you guys against London there in Sudbury on the weekend. So what's kind of been the emphasis here in practice leading up to this 3-3 coming up this weekend?
I feel like just staying on the pedal, like big 3-3 coming up. These games mean a lot, so practice has been hard, fast, just doing the same thing we've been doing, just playing hard. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, you mentioned it right there. 3 huge games coming up this weekend for you guys. 3 Central Division matchups, right?
Yep.
North Bay coming up Saturday against the Barrie Colts, a team that's had your guys' numbers so far, but you guys are going to change that, right? And then on Sunday,
100%.
Exactly. And then on Sunday against the Niagara Ice Dogs. So let's start off with against the North Bay Battalion. How do you defensively prepare against the North Bay Battalion?
Yeah, they got some speed on their team for sure. So I feel like just being good in our D zone, not losing guys, picking up sticks. I think sticks is a big one. Just boxing guys out, letting our two amazing goalies see the puck. So I feel like we can help just clean stuff up, and in our zone makes it real easy. Easy exits, gets us into the offensive zone, gets our forwards doing their job. They want to score, so getting clean exits will help them get some shots on net.
One guy that's coming back. Last thing I got to say, Bryce Cook. Have you had any conversations with him? Because he's coming
No,
back for the
I
first
haven't.
time.
I saw him in the summer a little bit. We caught up a little bit. I haven't talked to him in quite a while though.
Stevie, let's talk about Luke Dragusika, because he's a guy that we haven't had on the podcast yet. We're hoping to get him on soon, but you've seen him come in from day one here into his OHL career, and he's really played, I would say a lot more mature than a typical 07 defenseman. And you being a defenseman and coming in around the same age, talk to me about what you've seen from him.
Yeah, he's a special player for sure. Yeah, being that young and stepping into the league and doing as well as he is incredible. Funny thing is, we're both Croatian, so it's we kind of a little bit of the stuff, like little bit of the words we know. We kind of say a word in Croatian once in a while, so it's cool that too, and we get along pretty good.
Love it.
So.
And you guys are kind of similar players as well. I mean, it's playing with the physicality. So is there kind of a lot that you can teach him in that regard as well, seeing that you are pretty similar?
Oh yeah, we in practice. I like to give him a little bumps, and we like to be physical and stuff in practice. So yeah, it's really cool.
Talk about your minor hockey days, Stevie, growing up in Cambridge, Ontario. Talk about that, and talk about when you got drafted by the Peterborough Petes, when you got traded to the Mississauga Steelheads last year. I talked to your family. To me, it seemed like it was you were ecstatic about coming to the Steelheads.
Oh, 100%. Just moving closer to home. A lot easier drive for Big Steve and the family. So
Big Steve.
Yeah, they were really happy about that. I was happy, closer to home, great rink, and that now great teammates. It's just such a cool move.
Were you expecting the trade a little bit, or did that catch you off guard?
No, a little bit. I kind of heard some things, kind of asked like what's going on here, because I had quite a few Ds. So yeah.
And you're talking about moving close to home. So do you live at home now?
No, I'm actually I still bill it, but I think I'm like 35, 40 minutes away from home. So off days I'll go help Big Steve in the shop, or go for lunch with my grandparents, or
I see.
Yeah. So which is pretty cool.
Cherish it, man. Keep it. Just never lose that. Like, you have good values, don't lose that.
No, exactly.
Never. Don't ever lose it, because you know what? Family's always going to be there for you. Oh my God, this is a
100%.
podcast, and I feel like we're in but anyway, right? Anyways, besides that, talk about that. I want to talk about the wins against London and Sudbury. Two huge wins, and especially against a rivalry like the Sudbury Wolves on Sunday. Wow. Talk about those wins. First, let's talk about Friday.
Yeah. So like going into a barn like that in London, just the crowd's gonna be crazy. I think we did an amazing job shutting that crowd down and getting pucks on net, and good things happen, and we just never looked back. We just kept on rolling. It was amazing to be a part of.
Yeah. Talk about Sunday too. Huge win against the Wolves. Talk about that too as well.
Yeah. Came out a couple penalties for sure on the kill, but we got it done in the shootout. Both our goalies played amazing as usual, so that always helps out. I think everyone D forwards played amazing. Yeah, it was both really cool games.
Stevie, we've noticed that you like to jump rope a little bit. You like to skip before game.
Yeah, you guys see me skip.
Yeah, always.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a tradition now. I always, before every game, get the rope out, get the legs going.
Yeah.
I think it's something I've been doing since I was a kid, so I don't mind doing that.
Well, I was going to ask too, is that like, you just said you've been doing it since you were a kid, but also you were, working with a track coach. Like, does that kind of play into that as well? Like, is that something that they said to do too? Or
No, that's just something like I do some boxing in the summer, so I like to just keep the footwork and just gets the motor going before the game. So
It's funny.
Now I want to see you fight. I want to see you fight because you say you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I had one in Ottawa, so
Yeah, you got to be careful there, buddy.
yeah,
Be careful with that.
you
What is
never
it, 2
know.
games and whatever? But you're one of the guys that haven't figure skated. You never figure skated, eh?
No, I skated with a figure skating coach. That's about it.
Oh,
Didn't.
but did they teach you the double axle and all that stuff?
No, I never did any of that.
Did you even try anything? Double Lutz?
Maybe once or twice.
That's good. Hey, it helps out, right?
No,
Figure skating
exactly.
coach, any kind of skating coach, I mean, must have been a big help for you, right?
Oh, 100%.
Go ahead, Zach.
Brennan.
You guys, what's going on?
No, Zach, it's your
You know
question,
what? We just
man.
had like a serious. I think everybody's thinking about Christmas too much.
Yeah, wow, that was crazy.
I got a little Secret Santa shopping today, so.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing something like that on the team?
Yeah, we do a Secret Santa, so which is pretty
awesome.
cool.
Now, what kind of? So there's always different rules in the Secret Santa. Like, do you pull a name, or like, how does it? Is
we
it
just pulled the name out of a hat.
Okay, that makes it a little bit easier because at least you know who you're buying for.
Yeah, exactly.
So who got you last year? Like, who was your Secret Santa, and what did they give you?
I did mine in Peterborough.
Oh yes.
I forget who even had me. That's bad. I know. I had Jack Van Wolfson.
Oh,
last year. So.
And what did you get, JVV?
I think I got him like a cool like hunting hat because he knows I live in the country, and some of the guys always razz me about that. And I got him like a funny pair of sunglasses. So.
Do you guys have like a wish list? Because I'll tell you something. I'm in a Secret Santa as well, right? And people have wish lists, right? And I always buy. I'll tell you because just before I get to the question, I always buy the person what they want on their wish list, right? I never got it for 2 years. What I wanted on my wish list, I got something else. I got like a pair of socks. I got something else. Look at it. That's not what I wanted. So what you wanted? Do you guys have like a wish list? That's what I'm asking.
No, it normally just goes like a funny gift, and then like just kind of like a normal gift.
Okay, so you guys do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, a little old-fashioned. Yeah,
fair enough. All right. You don't do it my way. That's good.
You're talking a little bit about growing up in the country and then from Cambridge out playing minor hockey. Mikey had asked you about that a little bit, but what kind of got you into the game at first, and how did that kind of start for you?
Like, honestly, my family just kind of got me like into like just learn to skate, and then I was just hooked from there. So I think that's where it all started, and then just playing just minor hockey in Cambridge, and then just fell in love with it. Just kept on rolling with it.
Now, did Big Steve, did he play?
No, just played house league, a little bit of beer league. I think that's about it. But he always loved the game, so he had to play tennis when he was a kid because he had 4 sisters, so they all wanted to play tennis, and
there you go.
He kind of got dragged into that.
Stevie, you're one of the biggest guys on the team. I wish I was your size when I was your age. Being the meathead that I am, I love being in the gym. I love, getting that pump, all that stuff. What's your go-to exercise when you're looking to, not necessarily build a physique, but something that's more functional to help your game, help your training in the summer? What are you training?
I'm going to say legs. I'll go with like trap bar. I'll do some like sled pushes, stuff like that. Run some hills. I think that's one of my favorites.
Running the hills up and down. Hey, that's the best. I did that a lot in the summertime. Haven't been able to do it now because of this weather. And I hate the treadmill. Do you like the treadmill, Stevie?
No, it's not really. I like going out for a run, get the nice view.
Absolutely.
Hear the birds chirping.
Yeah. See the Cardinals going, birds
No,
chirping.
exactly.
That's all that matters, buddy. That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
So just because you're talking about working out, and Zach, obviously a big workout guy too. We had this with Xander Vecchia. Not saying we should bring it back, but I got to ask you, could you beat Zach in a push-up competition?
Oh, here we go. Yes, you can.
Maybe. I don't know. It'd probably be a good one, but.
But Xander's been ditching like since the summer. He just doesn't want to do. There's always an excuse with this kid. So
all right, we're gonna have this. We're gonna do this.
He's been busy lately, I think.
We're gonna have this push-up competition now, and we're gonna record this. We're gonna record it, and we're gonna have you, Bodenstein, and Zach. Sorry, you, Zach, and Xander. 3 of you guys.
I like it.
Right?
Okay.
And I'll sit back, and we're gonna be the judge, and it has to be perfect. They have to be good. Perfect. It can't be those little ones, you know. So,
those half ones.
I think you know what? My money's on you. My money's on you, Stevie. I'll tell you right now. I know, because I know you got the eye of the tiger. Zach's got the eye of the tiger too, but stamina, I'm not sure.
Whoa!
Zach, you say yourself.
Wow!
You're the one that said it, Zach. You said
that was in the summer. You don't think I've been training my cardio since the summer? Come on.
All right, okay. Then he's got it back. All right, so it'll be a great competition.
Great matchup, though.
That's awesome. All right, you know what, Stevie? Thanks so much for joining us here, and good luck. And we'll see you at the rink, obviously, and good luck on the weekend, my man.
Oh, appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
All right. Thanks, Stevie.
Thanks, you. Guys.
All right. So that was Stevie Leskovar, and had a lot of things to say. We'll talk about that when we come back, and we'll talk about more. We'll talk about, surprises in the OHL. We'll talk about World Juniors. All right. So you're listening to Trout Talk right here at News Talk Saga 960 AM. All right. Welcome back to Trout Talk right here on News Talk Saga 960 AM. Mike Carafalides, along with my amigos, Brendan Lang, Zach Bodenstein. We just had Stevie Leskovar on, big-time defenseman, big defenseman back there for the Mississauga Steelheads. Came over, of course, from the Peterborough Petes last year. Wow, guys, what a presence he is back there. And well-spoken young man, and see how comfortable he is back there in the blue line. He just gets better every game, guys.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you talk about improvement. I mean, the improvement from last year to this year, like if you talk about players on the Steelheads, I mean, he's we talked about Luke Misa earlier, but he's got to be up there in the top 3 guys when you talk about improving from one year to the other. I mean, James Richmond has said it so much. Like, I mean, going into the year, yeah, you knew he was going to be a solid defenseman back there, but you didn't expect this type of leap. And I mean, he's just been an absolute anchor back there. And you were losing a couple defensemen in Larson and Callahan coming into the year. So you're kind of like, who's going to be able to fill that role? You're bringing in Fibiger in the import draft. Like, how's that going to work out? And he's moved in there and absolutely filled it in perfectly. And he even said it. He's more of the defensive defenseman type, and you need those type of players in your system. You can't have everybody. Chaz Sharp, obviously good in the defensive zone, but he's also great on the offensive end. Stevie's just one of those guys where, I mean, he's going to punish you in the defensive zone, and that's exactly what he's there to do, and he's done his job. I mean, just so well this year, and it's obviously been a massive boost to the team.
Yeah, this team needs to be tough to play against, and he's a huge reason why they actually are, because he's going to punish those guys in the corner. He's accountable. You know, he really holds his own in his own zone. He's responsible. He's really adapted to this system. I think having a full year under his belt now with the system has really helped him. Obviously, we talked about the training in the offseason, how he's gotten better in that regard. So I'm super happy for Stevie Leskovar. You said it, Brendan. They needed a left-handed defenseman to step up with Callahan and Larson leaving. Fibiger and Leskovar have done a fantastic job. Dragusika's in 07. It seems like they're the London Knights. They're just brewing out talent. You know, guys leave, it doesn't matter because other guys come up. It's what you love to see. That's what makes organizations successful. That's what builds championships. And the Mississauga Steelheads have a rock-solid back end.
Yeah, there's a hard hitter. It's just such a hard hitter back there. And when he hits somebody, you hear that thump through the arena. And it's not no little hit that Stevie Leskovar is going to take somebody out. You hear the boom, right? Like he's playing so well, and he's just getting better and better. All right, guys, great interview, great kid, and we know that defense is solidified. All right, so let's move on here. World Juniors training camp was announced for Team Canada. World Juniors are coming up, of course, very, very soon. And Team USA was announced as well. Now, what I want to talk about is who got snubbed on Team Canada. I'm going to go first. And I think we're all going to agree on this one. David Goyen and the Sudbury Wolves got snubbed big time.
Yeah. You think? I mean, this guy played, NHL preseason. He played in the AHL. He's proving it in the OHL. What more does he have to do is my question. I mean, the only returning guy that they have at their selection camp is our buddy Owen Beck. That's the only one. That's the only one. They cut Jordan Dumais last year, who was like putting up 3 points per game for Halifax. I think can't snub him this year if he actually make the actual team. But I mean, do they see something with his 200-foot game that they're not happy with? I mean, because the skills there, to me, the hockey sense is there, the responsibilities there. He's just such a dynamic player. So for me, I'm with you, Mikey. Goyette is a really big omission. And let's see what Team Canada can do this year, because they really have the luxury. We're talking about churning out talent and keeping to restock talent. But I don't think I've ever seen a Team Canada team with, this few returning players. Obviously, guys like Kevin Korchinski are in the NHL. So who's going to step up and be that guy? Is Owen Beck going to wear the C for Team Canada? He might have to. He's the only returning guy. So, Brendan, this is an inexperienced team at first glance, but David Goyette is certainly a big omission for this team.
Yeah, he definitely is. We were talking a little bit there at the break about the U.S. team and the omissions. We'll talk about that, of course, in a moment. But yeah, David Goyette being left off of Team Canada. And like you said, Mike, or Zach, it is an extremely young team, and you just don't see that in the World Juniors. And it's known that tournament is a 19-year-old tournament. Like, those are the guys that shine in that World Juniors. So it is, I mean, of course, there's still going to be 19-year-olds in there, even if they are playing in their first year. But there are a lot of younger players on that Canada selection camp roster. So yeah, it's going to be a different look. And I think they're going to be an exciting team still. I don't think that's going to be out of the question, but it is going to be a different look for sure.
Let's move on. All right, the Team USA guys. Quentin Musty didn't make the team. All right, Quentin Musty, Hunter Bastevich on the Kitchener Rangers didn't make the team as well. Didn't get an invite. To me, those two are shocking. I'm flabbergasted, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't really see like the selection camp being announced, and then I saw somebody on Twitter say that Quentin Musty and Hunter Bastevich had been left off, and I was like what? Like, how does that make any sense? I mean, I know, and we were just talking about too, like the politics that go into it. There's always going to be the politics in these kind of selections, and the U.S. I mean, they like to take their college players. Like, they don't like to go outside of that. And they've kind of shown that for a long time. Sure, there's going to be some guys mixed in there, of course, but I mean, if he had Austin Matthews, who didn't play college, but he was going to be on the team regardless. So, I mean, that seems to be the pool of players that they take from. And it's just, it's pretty tough to see, because I mean, those two guys, obviously great players, and two players who have had great seasons as well.
It's always been like that. I'm going to mention one player that got snubbed. If you remember back in the day, Alex DeBrincat.
Yeah, 100%.
That
was snubbed, and that was playing in the OHL, and he was small. And I mean, I don't understand
why, guys. I really don't understand why. I mean, I get you want to take from the U.S. National Development Program. Okay, fine, whatever. But I mean, you got your best players, some of your best players here. Like, don't you want to win a gold medal? Like, I don't know. Just saying.
No. They like the familiarity, and they like the style, and it's always a college coach who ends up, being the bench boss for them. So, right. I mean, obviously both of them are big omissions. They did take 3 OHLers though. And guys, we have to give a shout out to, we talked about him, like the Steelheads stopper, the guy who's just had the Steelheads number. And we're going to see him on Saturday, probably. Sam Hillebrand. What a story. What a story.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Because he was playing Junior C last year, and he was an emergency backup goaltender for the Steelheads. And now he's winning games for the Barrie Colts, and he's now the 3rd string goalie for Team USA. That is an incredible turnaround, and I don't know Sam personally, but that is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah, and we just kind of spent that time saying that they don't take players from the OHL, and then they just throw a curveball in there and throw on Sam Hillebrand. He's been amazing. I mean, he really has. the 2 times we've seen him against Mississauga this year, I mean, he's completely shut the door on them, especially that first game. If you remember that, like, I mean, he just saved everything. Like, it really is a remarkable story when you take a guy who it says he's listed from Florida, and then on a website it says he's from somewhere else. So I don't know exactly where he's from. Don't know how much hockey is being played in Florida, but still, it is a absolutely remarkable story for sure.
I think it's awesome. Man.
Really, really good for him. Really good for him.
Unbelievable story. I mean, I almost called you Jacob. Sorry, Brendan, just like you mentioned, and Zach, as you mentioned as well. But the games he's played against the Steelheads, he's been absolutely phenomenal, stopping everything that's coming his way. So they're going to see him again. You know, the game will be done by the time this is recorded, but we'll see him again on Saturday, most likely. So Steelheads, I'm sure they'll have it in their mind. Hey, you know what? We got to get one by this guy, but he's got the confidence to play against them, right? So Barry's giving the Steelheads a big time trouble this year. So we'll see how that entails. But all right, guys, let's go on. Let's get any surprises this year in the OHL or disappointments? Let's go with the surprises.
Mississauga.
Yeah, that's the one.
Any other one besides the Steelheads? I knew that was coming, but any other one besides the Steelheads? We know that the Steelheads have been the biggest. Yeah.
How about Peterborough continuing their winning ways, that winning culture? They traded Connor Lockhart away. They lost what seems like 10 players from last year's nucleus from the championship team. They're still getting it done. That team continues to impress me. What a culture they have. What a fan base they have. What a storied franchise they have. I mean, that they're like the Eastern Conference London Knights, so only fitting that they met in the final last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely right. And then I think too, I think London surprised me a little bit. I thought they would probably be a little bit better than they were coming into the year. I feel like that's a little bit of a surprise to me. They're still sitting in 4th place, so it can't be that big of a surprise. Like, they've still had a pretty decent year, but I just thought that they would be kind of more towards the top echelon of the OHL coming into the season.
So here's my question. Are the Peterborough Petes going to keep these players? Are they going to unload at the trade deadline?
Tough question.
I'll tell you guys. Because they don't have a lot of draft, they don't have a lot of draft cupboard draft picks in the cupboard, right? So look, I honestly think they're going to unload at the trade deadline, but time will tell. All right, guys, let's move on to the tips of life. And we know Zach, he's like chomping at this one. He gave us a little good tip. So Zach, take this one away, my man.
Yeah, for me, I just think it's about taking accountability for your actions. So for me in my life, we're going to get a little, philosophical, a little serious here. I noticed things start to change for me for the better. When I started to stop pointing the finger at everybody else, I looked inward. I was like, okay, like, what can I do? How am I treating other people? What are my words and actions doing to me and to other people? And once I started, adapting that mindset, and I'm going to take accountability here. I said we're going to see Sam Hillebrand on Saturday. I'm pretty sure the World Junior Selection Camp starts before that, so I don't think he'll be in the lineup. So there's a good example. But for me, it's just about, take accountability for your actions. Saddle up. You make a mistake, own up to it. And there are going to be consequences if you do something bad. And that's okay. You got to live with it, and you got to understand it. And everything's a lesson. So for me, accountability is such a key part to taking control of your life and just getting things in order. So once I started doing that, like a light switch, things just started happening. And so, don't fixate on things too much. Just take accountability, let things play out. And from firsthand experience, I could tell you it works.
There it is.
That's it.
Guys, I'll tell you right now, it's called, and be better. Just be better. All right, so that's going to do it for another episode of Trout Talk. So for my amigos, compadres, friends, colleagues, whatever you want to call it, Zach Bodenstein, and for Brendan Lang, I'm Mike Carafalitis. We'll see you next time.